We got off to a slow start, or Georgia Tech got off to a hot start. And they're very capable of doing that. They've shown times during the year that they can get on those types of runs. So I think they might have scored 26 points in the first was it 8 minutes, something like that. And we called a timeout and we challenged our players like we have been doing all week. And from that point on, I mean, they scored I think 10 points in the last 12 minutes, I believe, of the first half. And I thought that was a turning point. We had 150 passes first half, which is exceptional, moving the ball, making an extra pass, creating for each other. And the fact that we had 23 assists on 30 baskets says a lot about how locked in they were for creating for each other and taking the highest percentage shots. That just shows that we're making a little progress. I thought our effort was tremendous. I don't like playing guys the number of minutes that we play them. We got to figure out how to make some adjustment in those areas. I challenged our first rotation guys that got to have more confidence, and I'm gonna challenge them to kind of step up a little bit and go in and give us a little bit of something when they come in the game. But that just takes time and maturity. Our more experienced players, I thought, gave exceptional effort. They maintained their poise. Even though they shot 49, they shot 40% from the floor and 37 from, that was a far cry from what they shot in the first half, and I think that had a lot to do with the outcome of the game.
Did you get?
How much better did you feel about what you guys did offensively? Their defense has given you guys a hard time the last few times you played.
You think? Well, we tried to simplify offense a little bit because if you know, everyone has been challenged by their defensive schemes. And I understand their schemes very well because Boyd Grant, that was his old defense. A guy named Fred Lissenberger was a guy who was assistant coach, associate coach on the staff, and he wrote it up. I actually hired Fred when I was at Oklahoma State, and I hired him again when I was at the University of Miami because I have so much respect for this style of defense. Even though we're more man-to-man type of team, I always wanted to have this in my back pocket, but it really takes a lot to teach it because there's a lot of shifts and a lot of adjustments you have to make, and they've mastered it. And we got kind of bothered up a little bit there in the first part of the game, and then we changed our approach, and I thought that gave us a little bit more freedom, and I thought we was able to get some more high percentage shots.
How pleased were you with the team coming out? I think it was a 16-4 run to open the second half and distance yourself. Just their approach out of the gate.
Well, I think that's what I was talking about earlier. I think our guys are understanding a little bit more what it takes to win at this level. I mean, we're not in that much better condition than we were early in the year, but they understand now. We challenge them; they have to make sacrifices with the type of team that we have now, and that means you got to give them more effort. You got to be able to play through fatigue. It's extremely challenging to do what we asking our guys to do in relation to our system. One reason why we've rotated guys so much because it's kind of hard to pick up 94 feet, switch 1 through 5, and do the things we do defensively, and then on the offensive end, move the ball. And so there was some fatigue sitting in there, but those guys pushed through it.
How much, when you talk about fatigue, and you are getting another body back, finally, starting this next game, what will he add? Just getting another rotation piece that can help you guys out in Baba Miller.
Baba has a high basketball IQ. We're going to give him time to get his feet under. I expect him to make a major contribution in areas that not necessarily might not show up in the statistical column. I think he's a good ball mover. I think he contests. I think he has those long arms. He'll be shutting down passing lanes. I expect him to be getting all those dirty work things. Then I think you'll see him elevate his game and become much more effective throughout the game. but that's what he's about. The dirty work, the rebounds, tip-ins, running the floor, diving on the floor to lose balls. Those are the things I think we'll get from him. He got to be a little anxious. He's an 18, 19-year-old youngster that's coming into a new program where he's only been able to practice. So we're going to give him his freedom, but I got a hunch that he'll be making a major contribution. He'll be able to give us, give those guys a little bit more, and give them less minutes because of him being involved in the rotation.
With a shooter like Darren, I assume you don't have to tell him at halftime to keep shooting. Like, that's why he's on the court. He's one of the best in the country at it. And
There's
then
no doubt about that. And what we need to add, we have to get Tom House more shots. We have not been very effective with him on the floor, getting him the number of shots that we think we need for him to be effective. I mean, he's probably just about as good a shooter as Darren, at a young age. But learning how to get open and learning how to space the floor is just part of the development for a freshman. But we definitely need, it's a big help when you have Caleb hitting threes, along with Darren. We need a third one, and a fourth one, and a fifth one.
How has Baba done these last 2-3 months of utilizing the time, even though unfair punishment and all?
He's been in the weight room, trying to get a little stronger. It's probably what most tall, slender 18, 19-year-olds have to do is adjust to the physicality of the American game. But he's adjusting. He's doing everything he can, and I think he has the right attitude. You know what I mean? I don't think he's expecting to come in here and and do anything great. He's supposed to help the team win. I mean, that's just the kind of attitude he has. He anxious just to go be a part of helping the team win whatever we need. And I think that's the kind of attitude you get excited about.
What do you like about Matthew Cleveland's performance?
Matthew's a warrior. There's no doubt about that. He represents. When you look in the dictionary and you see that word say unconquered, his face is right in Webster Dictionary, right by that word. He's just that kind of guy. He raises his level every game. And he's out there giving us the tip ins, the fast breaks, the rebounds. I mean, his rebounding, man, is this the 5th straight game he's going to double-double?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm not really sure I've been around very many people do that 5 games in a row in my whole career.
Doug Edwards, the last one.
6 of the last 7, too.
91, 92.
6 of the last 7. But that's part of who he is, though. I mean, the ball will bounce over there, he goes and gets it from the other side of the floor. I mean, he's improved his perimeter shooting. His defense is solid. He makes great decisions. If he makes a foul, you don't see him make a lot more. If he makes a mistake, he doesn't make the same mistake again. I mean, there's no doubt that he's been the backbone of our program, offensively and defensively. Now, especially after Cam Fletcher went out, he took that responsibility on his shoulders. That says a lot about his character.
What's it mean to you to reach 600 wins? And what do you remember about win number 1?
That's a long story. I'm not really sure you guys got time to listen to that.
Sure.
But I was young, and I had 2 guys missed. They didn't miss curfew, but when we checked curfew, we came back around. They were in the bed with the clovers pulled up with the shoes on. Okay, so I tried, but I had been accustomed with you miss curfew, you're late. You just don't play. And I'll never forget going and talking to my AD. I let him know that was my first game, but we had that discipline in our program. And 2 of our guys I think were a little late, and I might have to discipline this game. And I'm not sure if we're gonna play him. And Myron Roderick had been the wrestling coach at Oklahoma State for like 30 years. So he'd been through what I was going through probably many times. And it looked like he didn't reach across the table and slap me, but he leaned over and said, "No, there are other ways you can discipline kids with them not playing and hurting the other guys." It's like the light came on. Okay, I'm not at Kentucky now. I can't take one All-American out and put another one in. And so I got those kids up in the morning, and we had a little love session. And I'm not gonna say what it is because I don't want anybody to think that I might not be real kind. But those guys came back and we won. We beat University of Minnesota by 20 points. And I hate to think what people would have thought of me had I not played. So they played, one of them started, and they played their guts off, and we won our first game. So that was my first game. I remember that vividly.
I'm sure this would have been probably $5.99.
But to be honest with you, when I walked off the court, I wouldn't have known it was 600 until the announcer announced it in the over the microphone. I didn't even know that I was in that category. And that's a tremendous accomplishment. And, you know, when you look back at your career, it's not about the players. It's about the effort that they give, the relationship you have with them. Because in our world, you guys recognize us for wins and losses. You know, that's how we keep our jobs, that's how we get recognized, like we're talking about this. But in reality, we have so much more responsibility than winning games. You're taking teenagers and ushering them into young adulthood. You take them at the most impressionable, most vulnerable time in their lives, teenagers, and you're trying to get them to grow up in the 4-year period that they're working with you. And that's what we focus on every day. Now, the byproduct, hopefully, that we win enough games, but in reality, the fact that we've only had 2 guys now graduate, in my opinion, is much more important to us than the 600 wins. Now, I'm glad, but I know a lot of it goes to your players that you recruit. And more than likely, I've had great staff. You know, when I look back at Bill Self, and I look back at Andy Enfield, and Dennis Gates, and a lot of other guys who've been at other places. And I look on my staff now, I got 3 head coaches qualified to be head coaches on my staff. And they're in my ear. And unfortunately, sometimes I don't listen, they fuss at me. But like today, they wanted me to play more people. They wanted me to get more guys in the game. And I'm looking at them out of the corner of my eyes and said, we need this victory. So I went with this guy for 40 minutes. And I tell you, that's tough. It is so tough to play 40 minutes with what we're asking our guys to do. So I look at the big picture. I'm happy that we're having some level of success here, but it's more important that we create an atmosphere that's conducive to learning, as well as helping these guys move, graduate, get their degree, and improve, put themselves in a position where they can have a nice life and be good husbands, fathers, and neighbors, and citizens. We're working on the citizen part here. No, I'm kidding. He's an outstanding youngster, and I would give anything. I'm so happy that he's with us. Any other questions?
Any more questions for Coach?
All right, thank you guys.